person. It's like
Really?
yeah, I feel like everyone is the same. Like we are all one basically, and that's why everyone else is a mirror of you. And so this really like I mean, this really made me believe in that universal consciousness even more. Like the idea that I could be you in a different like time, or I mean,
Well,
time
yeah, but
doesn't
I
really
mean,
exist,
I
but
got you because if you
yeah.
leave the physical, if you drop the physical and you go to the consciousness, it's all
Hmm.
one. Then we're like the collective. It's collective consciousness.
Yeah.
And we're just borrowing from that consciousness to express ourselves in these specific ways, to have
Right.
a specific experience at a specific time. But when we leave this
Yeah.
body and we go to back, it's all the same. We're hanging out together. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And each time the consciousness goes into a person's body, then it experiences life from that person's perspective. And
Right.
then after they die, it goes back to universal, to
Right.
the
It goes back. Hey, how was it,
big.
man? It was nice, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So you have any questions for me?
Um, well, yeah, a lot of questions. I mean, what do you believe as, in terms of your life philosophy or spiritual
In
beliefs?
terms of what? Self-mastery?
Yeah, and self-mastery. Yeah, whatever
I really
you
don't know
believe
about
in.
self-mastery. I'm in the process of discovering that.
Yeah.
Um, I started my journey when I was 3 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been searching ever since. I've had insights along the way, but I just find that once that particular part is, it's like you're climbing a mountain and you go up
Mm-hmm.
and you hit a plateau, and that's good for a moment. Then you have to go to the next level. So it's always
Mm-hmm.
progressing like that. So
Mm-hmm.
when people ask the question, I really don't know. I'm just trying to find out. But like you said, it's about being able to navigate through life in a very peaceful way without going too far to the left or too far to the right. So like the balance.
Yeah, exactly. And when you realize that everything is one, like all of us, everyone is part of the same thing. Like it helps you cultivate a lot of love and compassion for other people. And I used to be like very into politics and like political parties, but I realized that I'm not into politics. I'm not into fighting with people anymore. I just acknowledge that everyone has their own perspective and reason for believing what they believe.
But that's part of the process. The part of the
Hmm.
process is, right, look, let's have some fun. You be the Reds and I'll be the Blues. We'll fight each other. For what? Because that's fun. Because because in our heart we want the drama.
Yeah.
We want drama. Drama gives us value.
Hmm.
You know, wars, divorces,
Hmm.
friendships. It's the drama.
Yeah, for sure. And people, yeah, it's just all part of the experience as of life as well. Like there's a metaphysical concept that I once heard about through someone else, and they were talking about how like each of us, I mean, we're all one, right? So you have been both the victim, the perpetrator, the a very successful person, a impoverished person.
Right.
You've been every type of person, and you've been a blue, a red,
Yeah.
whatever,
Right, right, right,
a
right,
war.
right, 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 right.
Yeah.
So now if that's true, right? Then where do we go from here? I know we go back, but I mean, like, the way you said it made me think of, well, okay, I can see that I'm experiencing that, and I want to get out of here. I don't want to have those experiences anymore. I want different experiences,
Hmm. Well,
different than the earthly experience of all this trauma. The binary thing. The us against them thing.
mhm. I think that like I really don't know the answer to that because I'm obviously learning still, and I'm like it's really hard to grasp this idea of like consciousness and what happens after you die, and whether there's a soul, like what happens to that. But I think that there's no way, like I think the physical world is real, but it's also like I don't know how to explain it. We can't really escape the cycle of life and death, but I don't really know if we can.
Well, let
Like,
me ask you this.
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Can you can you feel yourself traveling with the solar system as it glides through the galaxy?
Um, s- Sometimes I guess I don't
Let me
know
back it up.
if I can feel.
Okay.
Hmm.
Imagine, imagine the planet.
Hmm.
The planet is revolving around the sun in our system. But that whole system is
Hmm.
moving gradually. It has to move because it doesn't stay stagnant. It's not static, right? So now, if you're in tune with that,
Hmm.
right? Can you tune up to that? Can you feel that?
Yeah,
Right. So now the
yeah.
solar system is in what? A galaxy.
Hmm.
Now, if the solar system is moving, that means the galaxy is moving as well.
Hmm.
So now that's a lot bigger than Earth, death, and life, right?
Yeah,
So if you can conceive that, perceive it, right? Then what you conceive, the mind achieves, right? You're there.
right. Yeah, it's a very grand idea for sure. Like to think about everything, it makes me feel so small, and it makes
Yes,
me
right.
wonder.
Yes,
Yeah,
right. As opposed to being so big, I'm the only one, right?
yeah. But at the same time, it makes me feel like both very small and very big at the same time, knowing that I'm such a tiny, small, tiny piece in the whole entire universe and everything that exists. But at the same time, I'm here. Like I'm in this body. Why out of this entire great universe, why am I here right now and like experiencing life through my eyes? It's
Good
very,
question. Just enjoy it. Why bother
yeah.
me? I mean, that's like asking, what's the purpose of life? Well, once you
Hmm.
figure out it's to have an experience, well, just enjoy it, right? Otherwise, it's like, it's not very productive.
Right, exactly.
Another question for me?
Um, well, uh, I mean, wh- what do you believe happens after we die?
I don't believe in death.
Mhm.
I
So
believe,
you, yeah.
I see, I believe that there's just a shift of consciousness, you
Hmm.
know, uh, things get rearranged. Um, See, like when my mother passed on, she gave me a gift, and I was able to communicate with her as she was making her transition.
Hmm.
And the transition is like this, just you've heard the blue zone, right?
Hmm.
The blue zone is where people, when they go, but they don't die, they come back. They go to almost death, but they come back, right?
Hmm.
So I went with her to the blue zone, and I just figured, I saw it all. I felt it. And so it's not about dying, it's just about recalibrating your frequency.
Hmm.
You know, you have to be able to, you have to be able, like, so we have a very gross form of energy or frequency, but there are higher levels. And these higher levels we can't really cling to because we're too gross.
Hmm.
But psychologically or spiritually, we can raise our energy level to approximate that position
Hmm.
in this form. Some
Hmm.
people are able to jettison from the whole process. Very
Hmm.
few, but we can try.
Right. It's very interesting to think about, and I'm always like so inspired by people's perspectives on what happens after death, and it's really hard to grasp, and I'm still learning, and thankfully I'm still young, and I have like a lot of time ahead of me to keep learning in this life. But yeah, I feel like it's something that you can't really understand. Like consciousness is something that is impossible to understand because it's here. Like it can't go outside of itself to understand itself.